William Hill is rated A by SBR. Find out why by clicking on their logo.
Hello and welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm your host, Natalie Rydstrom. After thrashing England 5-0 in the home Ashes series, Australia's next challenge is a trip to South Africa to face the side ranked #1 in the world. And can they do it? Well, Richard O'Hagan, sports writer and regular contributor to SBR Forum, is joining us now to discuss the series with us. Richard, thanks for joining us.
Hi Natalie, it's nice to be with you.
Now Richard, firstly, who do you see winning the series?
I think it's going to be a South African win. Australia are obviously going to go there very buoyed up from their performance against England. They really feel like they've got a good quality side that they can put out and really take the South Africans on their own terms. But South Africa at home, very tough proposition. Other teams have gone there as the leading side in the world, India and even Australia themselves in the past, and found it really, really hard to get a series victory there. And I do think the South Africans will probably run out winners by maybe 1-0.
Who's your money on here to be the top run scorer for each side?
Well, Natalie, it's always difficult to pluck this out just before the start of a series, but of course that's when you get the best value bets as well. So I think on the Australian side, I'm going to be looking at Chris Rogers, the opening batsman. He's very senior player now. He's in his mid-30s. Only really got going in the Australian side during the Ashes series in England last summer, but has sealed his place. There's no doubt now he is the #1 opener for Australia, and I expect him to score a lot of runs in South African conditions because he's going to appreciate the bit of bounce and a bit of carry that you get from the ball in those conditions without it moving around too much. So that's going to really work in his favour. On the South African side, I think the man to watch is going to be AB de Villiers. He's South African wicketkeeper batsman, and with Jacques Kallis having retired now, he's the nearest they've got to a genuine all-rounder. And he's the man they're going to look to step up and really score a lot of runs for them this time round. He's usually been in a luxurious position with the South African batting lineup in that he's been able to come in and play a lot of shots and pick up cheap and easy runs towards the end of an innings. Now he's going to have to go out there and do it for real and show us all that he is a world-class player, which he's been hovering on the edge of for the last few seasons, but without ever really training on. So for me, it's going to be Chris Rogers on the Australian side and AB de Villiers on the South African.
Okay, both very good choices there. Now, what other series bets could we consider?
Well, Natalie, there's a whole variety of bets out there on this series. One of the things that's starting to creep back in now is top wicket taker markets, which I think you're going to be looking more to the Australian side than the South African on this, because South Africa have got so many options for taking wickets here. Dale Steyn and Vernon Philander are the two top ranked bowlers in the world at the moment. So the wickets do tend to get a little bit spread around on the South African team. For the Australians, though, they really are going to do like they did in the Ashes and pin their hopes on Mitchell Johnson to just blast the South African batsman out like he did to the Englishman. So he's a good bet to be the leading Australian wicket taker, and in fact the leading wicket taker between the two sides as well, because there's two distinct markets there. And again, he's not going to be sharing his wickets with other people the way that the South Africans are. So if you're looking for something more unusual to go for, that actually is a more unusual bet out there nowadays, because as I say, last few years top wicket taker markets haven't really been there and haven't really been good value, but on this series it looks like it's going to be.
Okay, wonderful, Richard. You've given us lots to think about here. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, Natalie.